But the other thing we do is that we provide for and pay for our kiddos to do certificate programs. So they can do certificate programs with Microsoft, Google, Coursera, or some of the other companies.
Hi everyone, I'm Monica from Schola. Thank you so much for tuning in to today's Schola School Chat video. Before we get started, make sure to subscribe to our channel and turn on the notification bell so you don't miss out on any of our awesome school interviews. Ready to look at some schools? I know I am. Let's jump right into it.
Hi, I'm Sean Hoffman. I'm here with Schola. I'm here with Dr. Ward, who is the Chief Engagement and Innovation Officer. Hope I got that right.
That's
a long title of E3 Civic High here in San Diego. Thank you so much for having us, Dr. Ward.
Thank you for coming.
So to start out, can you tell us a little bit about the school and the mission here?
Okay, so I'll start with the mission. The mission is to engage, educate, and empower our learning community to be caring. And we added the word caring with all the craziness happening in the world. So to be caring, passionate, lifelong learners and civic leaders prepared for college, for workforce, and life. We're really a 2030 school, so we look to what do our students need to be successful in 2030. And we know that's a set of skills, such as being able to collaborate, communicate, to be critical thinkers, innovative, and also to be able to manage self and to manage their emotions, as well as to be able to work with others, the human aspect of it. And at E3, we say that we're preparing our kids to work alongside artificial intelligence, because that's the future.
Wow. Yeah, I mean, just looking around here, and we went on a tour earlier, I mean, looking toward the future really seems to be one of the things at the heart of the school. Can you talk a little bit about that, some of the technology in the space and how it's being put to use?
Yes, so we are a one-to-one techie school. All of our scholars have MacBook Airs and then the staff MacBook Pros, but that's just the baseline, right? And we use a plethora of online software projects or programs to leverage technology to personalize instruction. So that's what we want to do. We want to personalize it so kids can move as fast as they need to or as slow as they need to. So we also have competency-based grading and a growth mindset for that. But then we use design thinking to really get to those areas that I talked about in terms of communication, collaboration, critical thinking, innovation, and discipline. And so with design thinking, that allows us to look at technology in its whole, I should say. So we use Twitter, we use TikTok, we use Raspberry Pis and things like that, so that we can build products to solve complex problems. And we can communicate, we can communicate with the experts, the end users, using a host of social media platforms, and then creating things which we consider the redefinition of the SAMR model. So there's substitution, augmentation, modification, and then redefinition. And we want to redefine how we use technology. Wow.
Yeah, and I know you just mentioned creating product and the design thinking, and I see, you know, creating things in general seems to be a general theme here. You even mentioned some of like the senior capstone projects, that it's not just theory. What are some of the things that students here have created?
So one of the things that stands out to me, and it was a winning project last year, was the infinity clip. And that's a clip that those who are visually impaired can clip on themselves, and it's like a GPS. So let's just say they're going to downtown San Diego, and so they put in the address, or they speak the address, and then this infinity clip guides them. So it's a little beeping here, beeping there, right, so that they know where to go. So that's the infinity clip.
And that's designed by students?
Designed by students here at E3 Civic High. A concept that we had, but it didn't go to full development, was the a pellet, a food pellet for the coral reefs off the coast of San Diego, right? We did the patent for that. We actually submitted the patent to the state of California, but we never went to full development on that one. Let's see, another one was a watch. It was like a wellness watch, emotional watch. So if you're feeling a certain way, it would provide you with certain signals or little things to make you happier or calm you down. And then another one last year was a light that went on the little cages, if you will, at the pet shops, the adoption places, so that folks would know if a pet was in the process of being adopted, if it was adopted, especially on those big pet adoption days. And so this thing would sit on the cage, and it would be red, or if it's green, the pet's still available. If it's yellow, the pet's in the process of being adopted. So those are some of the things. We had another one which was a to reduce smog, and we were working with another country on that one. So that one's still in play as well.
Wow. And really cool stuff. I can't believe that students are designing these products at such a young age. It's a lot of tech stuff, but that's not all I saw here. When we were walking around, there were a lot of other facilities. We saw fitness things. I saw a demo kitchen, and you mentioned I don't know how many clubs. Can you explain a little bit about that? So
with the demo kitchen, we have agriculture, and we have a little garden that we share with a local elementary school. So the kids go down and they plant, they take care of, and they harvest the fruits and vegetables there, and then we bring them back to the demonstration.
In collaboration with the elementary school?
In collaboration with Sherman Elementary School. And then we bring it back here to our demonstration kitchen, and we do all the cooking here. We also have hydroponics gardens, which are on campus, and we harvest and then also cook in the demonstration lab with that. So everything that's cooked here, we that's harvest through E3, we try to cook.
Really cool.
And that's around social and food justice, right? Because we do have communities where what we call food deserts, right? So there are few grocery stores, and so with really good products, right? Grocery products. So what do we do instead? Then we have to learn how to grow our own food. And then what happens if you're in an apartment? Then you have a hydroponics garden or a wall garden. And so we teach about all of those things and how to advocate for ourselves in terms of wellness, including good eating. So those are some of the things. And then under the wellness is just our focus on social emotional well-being. So we have a licensed marriage family therapist on campus that supports our kiddos with that. But we also have programs that helps our kids to learn about how you manage yourself, how you manage your wellness, especially with Gen Z, right? That's really into wellness, and also has to struggle with some of the issues with the social media, right? And so we see with Gen Z, they have higher levels of anxiety, depression, etc. But how do you manage that? And so we provide ways for our kids to really manage those emotions and mental health.
Wow, I mean, really important stuff, building well-rounded kids, future adults for their life beyond school as well. And I know even just right there in the name of the school is civic. What's some of the civic engagement that the kids are doing here?
Yeah. So we bring individuals to campus who are local politicians, who want to be local politicians, because we want to know what's your platform? What are the policies you support? And then from that, we'll decide if we want to canvass for you, if we want to support your running for office, your platform. I've run for office myself to show our kiddos that, we can engage in the political process even to that level. And then, of course, just being out in the community, being a service to the community in as many ways as we can. We're partners with the San Diego Downtown Partnership and Clean and Safe. So we go out in the community and we clean, we do whatever we can to make the community better in that regards.
So I know you mentioned a lot of community involvement and the civic involvement part. What are some of the partnerships that you have with the community?
So we have about 300 partnerships with local businesses around the community. We're part of the San Diego Partnership, a Downtown Partnership Association. And then in terms of our schools, we have a partnership with City College, with the continuing education part of the San Diego College District. We have a partnership with Point Loma Nazarene.
Wow.
So that means that 2 days a week, our scholars, we have about 15 to 20 scholars who are picked up in a little van, and they ride over to Point Loma for biology and English courses 2 days a week. We have concurrent enrollment and dual enrollment, so kiddos can take classes here with UCSD, which is another partner, or with the City College on campus, generally on Fridays, and then concurrent enrollment, because we're not far from City College.
Right.
Kiddos can walk over there for some of the classes. We have a very strong partnership with City College, but when I say strong, it is very strong, but we also have a very strong partnership with UCSD and a very strong partnership with Point Loma Nazarene. And then we have a partnership.
So scholars are actually earning college credit before they graduate.
Yes,
here.
yes.
Wow.
And so every scholar should have at least 2 classes, 2 college courses done before they leave. But they can even go as far as having their AA or obtaining their AA.
Wow.
And so this last year, our valedictorian actually did have enough credits, college credits, to finish out her AA.
Amazing. And I know it's not just college credit and academics, but they're actually leaving here with work experience as well, right?
Yes. So 2 things about that. We do have an internship program. All of our seniors have to participate in the internship. It's either a year-long internship or 2 semester-long internship programs. And in preparation for that, they learn how to write resumes. They go through mock interviews. We have our partners come to E3 and conduct the mock interviews with our kiddos, so that when they go for their other interviews, they're ready to go, right? So resume writing, mock interviews, the elevator pitch. So we teach them all of that, and then of course they participate in those internships. But the other thing we do is that we provide for and pay for our kiddos to do certificate programs. So they can do certificate programs with Microsoft, Google, Coursera, or some of the other companies, and then we'll pay for those certificate programs, because when they leave E3, we talked about that viable path, viable career. We don't want them to get in debt either when they go to college. So if they have a certificate program, there's maybe a part-time job they can do while they're working on that 4-year degree, or something that gives them a start, and then 2 or 3 years later, they go back for the 4-year degree after they've finished up.
And you know, I'm glad you mentioned something about paying for courses and payment in general. And this might be an important one. What does it cost to come to this school?
Well, this is a free public school, so there is no cost to come to E3.
That's amazing. All these programs, all that support, and it's a tuition-free school, open to everyone.
Open to everyone.
Cool. So can you describe a little bit of the community and who it is that comes to E3?
So E3 is open to anyone in the county or any adjacent county. But most of our scholars come from what we call the downtown corridor. So mostly from this area. Some scholars come from as far as the border, so we are close to TJ, and so that's the Sweetwater School District. So some of our kiddos come from the Sweetwater School District, the last district in the state of California. Some of them come from the east. We're on the water, so the west, we don't have any kids, but so they come from all over. But generally speaking, about 60% or so come from what we call the downtown corridor. And we are a diverse population. We're predominantly Latinx, and then African American, white, Asian, and mixed race. So 70%, 14%, 8%, about 4%, and then other.
Okay, cool. Yeah, it's good to have a good mix, and we even saw a lot of pro-diversity things here with inclusion of languages. And I know that there were even some student projects, I think, that really focused on helping some minorities and helping some different groups have a voice.
So before I mention that, I do want to say that we're about 70% free and reduced lunch, and about 70% of our kiddos are first generation college going, right? But we have a 100% graduation rate, and about 96% are accepted to a 4-year university, and about half of that number attends a 4-year. And then we have kiddos who go to 2-year, and then what we're really beginning to focus on now as well is CTE types of vocational programs. So
can you explain
HVAC,
what that is, what CTE is?
So that's it's actually called continuing education, but what it means is that you're focusing on professional degrees such as HVAC, becoming line something, but the line people are the folks that work on the trolley lines, actually, to ensure that the railings and things like that are always working well. Those that work on the bridge systems. So those are some of the different vocational jobs that we're also exploring for our kids. Things in the medical profession, things in technology in terms of digital media arts. So digital media arts, all of these are things that we want our kids to consider as well, because these are high-paying jobs. You can make 85 to 6 digits, right? And so we say that when our kids leave here, they have to have a viable path and a viable career that allows them to take care of themselves, their families, to give back to their communities, and to give back to E3. And so that's the end goal. So we're not that interested in state tests. I mean, we know we have to do well in those, but that's not our end goal. It's to ensure that they're prepared for college, workforce, and life. And how do we
career and life readiness?
And how do we articulate that? How do we measure that? And that's by the viable path, the viable career that allows them to take care of themselves, their families, and to give back to their communities, and to give back to E3. Well,
that's great. And I know that as we were walking through, you mentioned things along the lines of all that, college readiness and life readiness, really, and I forget if it was the Pathways program where you did, what was it, interviews and scholarship applications. Can you talk about that a bit?
Sure. So all of our seniors have to take a class. It's a college prep, college readiness class. And in that class, they will apply to at least one university. And that's why we have such a high percentage of kiddos who are accepted to four-year universities, because they all have to apply. It's part of the graduation requirements to apply. Great. And then they have to apply for 2 scholarships. So generally speaking, we have kiddos, or as a school, can have awards as much as 3-point-something million. This year it was 3-point-something million in awards for our seniors, based on those scholarships that they had applied for.
That's amazing.
So that's through the class, and then we have a Pathways, which is a large space where our kiddos can go look at different colleges, talk to the counselors, get additional help with their applications. And they also have to complete the financial aid application. That's also a graduation requirement, right? Wow. Because not only do you have to apply, but at the end of the day, you got to have the funds to go. So that's part of our senior class, that college prep class. The other thing is the Pathways is open to our alumni. So once you leave, if you need to come back, you need assistance with the second year of college, completing your financial aid, for example, you can always come back to E3. We say once E3, always E3, right? And our motto is to take care of you, take care of each other, and to take care of E3. So we're there for our scholars now and into the future. We're also starting an alumni association. This will be the first year of our alumni association. And so that's for networking purposes, for mentoring E3 scholars who are still here, for bringing funds to E3, but also ensuring that those who have left have a place where they can go,
come back,
to get support or whatever they need.
It's so cool that the support, it's not just academic, it's so much more, and it's not just through high school, it's even beyond. When they come back and can continue to give support, and then essentially come back and give more support to the current students, right? And be part of that cycle. So another thing I saw was a lot of really different spaces for different things. I saw there was a gaming area. We talked about the demo kitchen. There must be a whole bunch of clubs and activities kids can do. What are some of those clubs and extracurriculars?
Well, we do have esports, right? And so we compete there. We have a rowing club. We use the aquatic center down the road for that. We have our Black Student Union Club, our Latinx Club, Anthology. We write books, we sell books on Amazon. We have our, so many other clubs, Anime Club. We have our GSA Club. We also have Girls Who Code. This is our second year with Girls Who Code, and really starting to get our young ladies involved in the STEM profession. Obviously, we need more girls in STEM, so that's another one. We also have our ACE, that is the Architecture, Construction, Engineering Club.
Okay.
And so that's been with us for a few years. Other clubs that we have, we talked about esports.
Yeah, I think you mentioned, NHS?
NHS,
BSU.
our National Honor Society, our BSU. So those are some of the clubs. We used to have a nutrition club, just a food club, a cooking club, but we didn't have it this last year.
Well, it sounds like a whole lot of options, and looking around, I know I mentioned on the tour, like, I would love to come back and be in a school like this. So people know, where are you located? Is there a website? Where can they find more information?
Yes, so we do have a website, and you can always check us out at e3civichigh.com. And then, of course, we can be found on the state website. Through the California dashboard, you can find E3. And then there's a local city web portal where we can find all the schools. But the best place to find out about E3 is at e3civichigh.com.
Okay. So you've heard it there. You can get some more information at e3civichigh.com. You can also check out the school on Schola.com, find their profile there, and get more information that way. Thanks so much, Dr. Ward.
Thank you. Appreciate you.
Hey everyone, thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed today's Schola School Chat video, make sure to give it a big thumbs up. If you would like to watch more of our awesome videos, make sure to click here. And to stay up to date with all the awesome videos we post and subscribe to our channel, make sure to click here. See you on the next one.